Hi there guys, and welcome back to the channel for another episode. So today I'm going to be having a look to try to see if I can diagnose the Jaguar's starting problems. So it has been documented quite a lot on this channel where I have been experiencing starting issues with this car. You may remember from some episodes back before I went to the Shybrook meet and I needed to get the Capri out of the garage, needed to move the Jag, and I was able to show to you guys that there were definitely some starting problems with it. I suspected at that time that the starter motor was the problem.
Oh yeah, that did not sound too clever.
Then a few episodes after that, I dedicated a complete episode to the Jaguar battery being replaced, which I'd done because I'd actually had a bit of a second thought and changed my mind, and my thoughts on the diagnosis actually was a battery problem rather than starter.
Absolutely nothing. Let's see.
But now, even though it has had a brand new battery, it has now reverted to having some difficulties starting once more, to the point now where there's no cranking over, there's absolutely nothing at all.
Nope. Nothing.
So I have been in touch on various Jaguar forums. People have been in touch with me to just kind of give us some pointers. People are saying that it's a fuse problem. Some people are saying it's a relay issue. But I am actually now reverting back to my original theory in that it's more than likely it's going to be the starter motor. One of the reasons I suspect that is the case is because when it has been prior to now where it's not doing anything at all, on the run up to that, there definitely was some cranking over. It was just that the cranking was getting slower and slower and slower. So if it was a fuse or a relay problem, I suspected that it would have just done literally from running perfectly to just running not at all. But the fact that it was going over a period of time getting gradually slower and slower would make me think that it was definitely a starter problem. The other thing as well, and correct me if I'm wrong guys if this is the case, but there was one instance as well where of course I needed to get the Capri out again, and in order to do that I needed to get the Jag off the drive, and I actually had Sarah and Millie and Oliver give us a hand with actually trying to bump start it, and I could bump start it. Now if it was a case that it was an immobilizer problem, I suspected that I would not have been able to bump start it either. So this is why I'm now starting to think that potentially this is a starter motor problem. So I'm going to go outside now. I'm going to see if I can try and get it started. I'm going to try first of all to just give it a bit of a hitting with a hammer and see if that works, to try and shot the brushes into place, and maybe it might crank over. If not, I'm going to try to take it apart. So yeah, we'll just get straight into it. So yeah, let's crack on.
Okay, so just do a quick demonstration as to what is currently happening at the minute. So just about to do the last turn of the key, and as you'll see, absolutely nothing happening at all. It's doing nothing. Now when I did the battery replacement a few episodes back, you may remember that just prior to doing it across the dashboard there was all the flickering lights and it was going click 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 click, and straight away of course my theory at that point, it's got to be the battery. Putting a replacement on seemed to work, and of course the car had been running since. But now it seems to have reached the point now where the starter, the cranking over of it was just getting slower and slower and slower to the point now where it's not doing it all. It makes me think that it's the starter that's the problem, that I've got not just a lazy starter, but now I've got it completely broken. So what I'm going to do now is I'll just obviously show you whereabouts it is. We'll pop the bonnet up and have a look. So if you can see, the starter is actually buried. It's right down here, so it's in a bit of an awkward spot. So what I'm going to try to do first of all is I'm going to get a long bar, put it on the side of it, and then give it a bit of a belt with a hammer and see if it shocks the brushes, and hopefully it might crank over. So we're going to try that now. So of course what's very important before you attempt to tackle any electrical components on a car is always make sure that your battery is disconnected. So I'll take that off to begin with. rest it on the casing, give it a hit. Back on. See if that's done anything. And that's now working. Okay, so I have noticed that the tyres are a bit flat, so we'll give them a quick pump up, and then we'll go out for a drive. Fantastic. Right. Okay. Let's go for a quick drive. It's been a while since I've been in this thing, and it feels fantastic to be back. Right. Thank you. Okay, so this is obviously a very positive result for a number of reasons. So obviously the main one, of course, it now starts, and it starts very well. So clearly, given the outer casing of the starter motor with that tap with the hammer seems to have done the trick. So what I did, I used a couple of extension bars from our socket set, obviously poked it down to put it against the outer casing, a few taps with the mallet. What it seems to have done, what I suspected, is it's just shot the brushes into place, and of course now it's starting up absolutely perfectly, really, really good. So of course that's one positive. Now the other positive, of course, of it is that because it's now started, what it's done is it's eliminated the possibility of the fact that it could be a fuse or a relay problem. Now you could look at this in a slightly different way, in that, well, the fact that I've had to give it some taps on the outer casing is an indication, of course, that the starter is on the way out. Now that, of course, is on the back of my mind, so whilst this temporary fix that I've done seems to have worked, it probably is going to at some point go again, and what it is, of course, going to mean is that I am going to at some point, of course, have to replace it. But the fact that, of course, doing what I've done has eliminated the possibility of it being a fuse or a relay problem or an immobilizer issue, that, of course, has taken away all of the doubts of what could be the problem, and of course minimized the possibilities of what has been causing the starter issue, which is, it's fantastic news. So not only have I currently got a working car that can start properly, I now know that when eventually at some point, if it does go, I know it's definitely the starter motor that's the problem. So all in all, a really positive result, so it's fantastic. Right, okay, so we're going to end the video there. As ever, if you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. Any comments that you want to put forward would be greatly appreciated, and of course if you want to support my channel, then just hit the subscribe button at the end of the video for more content, and fingers crossed, hopefully though, we'll be able to keep using the Jag for a little bit longer, for the time being at least anyway. Okay then guys, I'm going to leave it there then. Take care of yourselves, and I shall see you hopefully in the next video. Thanks ever so much for watching. Bye bye for now.